Hello, my name is Tom and I'm back talking about F1 fantasy after what feels like an absolute age. And this video I think is going to be a bit shorter than normal. I think it's going to be a bit shorter because I've kind of made my mind up on my team, and I've had my mind made up for a few weeks now, and the FP1, FP2 today has just kind of confirmed where I'm at. So I apologise if it's a bit short and less meaty than my normal final thoughts videos, but maybe it also kind of helps you just kind of hone in on exactly what you want to do as well. So I'm going to start off by thinking about Mercedes, and that's why I've got them on screen here, because I've been reading this article just briefly before I came on air. On air sounds so professional, don't I? But no, before I came on to record this video, and could we be seeing something like this again? Hopefully not with a George Russell disqualification as what happened in Spa. As a George Russell owner, that considerably hurt me going into the summer break, but there we go. Mercedes look great. And I've highlighted this quote. I did highlight it, and now I've highlighted it. From Lewis Hamilton. I think this kind of sums up what I'm thinking in terms of the Mercedes just look good. Hamilton says, I don't know whether or not we could be in the mix for the win, but we're definitely at least in the top five. That's a lot of positivity coming from Lewis Hamilton, who normally doesn't always rate his chances that highly after a Friday. He's normally a bit more downbeat, or at least he has been for the last couple of years. But that's super positive, at least in the top five. At least. If Hamilton's saying that, surely they're competing for the win. This is my team at the moment. And like I said, I think it's going to be a short video because, spoiler alert, surprise, surprise, this is going to be my team for Zandvoort. I don't see any reason to change it. If I had a bit more funds, maybe I could go up from a Russell to a Hamilton. I don't want to lose Piastri for a Hamilton, although I can afford it just about. I don't want to go that hard on Mercedes because I still think that the McLaren's looking legitimately fast, as you can see from the practice times on the right. And we're going to throw it over quickly before I have a look any further at my team, just at the sims that the F1 website's thrown out. And we see the Mercedes here super close behind the Red Bull. McLaren has got to be the closest they've been in qualifying trim. Mercedes haven't been great in qualifying all season. To be 0.1 away, potential rain for Saturday's qualifying as well, it could throw things into the mixer a bit. But they're, Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, they're all miles ahead of everyone else. Like the Ferraris have come out and said that they're going to struggle this weekend. It's been a difficult blah blah blah. So Ferraris for me just off the menu. Mercedes are already in my team. They're looking great. We looked at the race pace as well. And Mercedes, actually, I know this isn't like biblical text or anything. It's not like, well, it's not set in stone or anything. Just some prediction. But yeah, the Mercedes are ahead of the Red Bulls. Have we seen that at all this season, or for the last like 2 or 3 seasons? I don't know. I don't think so. I can't recall the last time the F1 sims came out and the Mercedes were ahead and another 100th of a second, and they'd be like on par with the McLaren. So that's quite considerable for the Mercedes. So yeah, definitely interested in keeping the Mercedes. Like I said, this is my team. If I didn't have this team already, I would be basically looking to get to this team. So again, like I said, it's going to be a short video because there's not much more to say about it. I don't think the Red Bulls are of course competitive. Perez is kind of miles out there, whether he was P12, in FP1 and FP2, he's just kind of out there. So the Red Bull constructor's kind of in the bin again. Verstappen looks decent as he always does, but he's not in the fastest car. And as good as he is, and he will go above and beyond what the car's capable of, he'll be thereabouts. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him on the podium come Sunday, and it's his home race, of course. But there's just so much value packed into the orange and green assets of McLaren and Mercedes. I don't see any reason to stick with Red Bull if you've got them, and you're not as a bigger believer in Mercedes as I am, then by all means stick with them. But if I, for example, coming out of Spa, I know a lot of people piled in on Max Verstappen and Red Bull constructor. If you are sitting there with Red Bull, McLaren, Verstappen as your team and a bunch of C-tier drivers, if it was me, I would be looking for a team like this. Just going to throw it out there. I'm not saying you have to do that. Of course, you can play it your own way. But if it was me, if my team didn't already look like this, I would be trying to get to this. That's kind of where I'm at. And I think it'll be the first race all season that I haven't actually made any transfers at all. I could potentially tweak one of my C-tier drivers. Tsunoda could become Ocon. I think is about the most I can afford. Yeah, Ocon is the most I can afford, but it's a bit of a sideways move. Ocon does seem to keep getting up there with the 0.5 rises, so you never know, could be considered. But basically, I'm kind of happy. The Williams look strong as well, so I'm kind of happy with Sargent in there. I never thought I'd say that ever. Must be losing my mind a bit, but there we go. So yeah, the C-tier assets I'm kind of fine with. like I say, if I wasn't already on this team, I'd be trying to get to a team like this. Obviously, if you had more budget, then you could potentially look at Lando Norris instead of a Piastri or something. But I'm unable to run that unless I completely dismantle my team a little bit. I think I can probably afford it if I get like some Sauber action. Actually, can okay? You could argue I could actually do that because I think I can do that in 2 moves, but I just don't think I want to because I want to get the price gain potential of Piastri as well. Piastri's looking great, so I could actually in 2 moves get Lando Norris in, and I'd have to go down to a Zhou. I really don't like that for a start. I think the Saubers are just going to continue to bleed money, and they look awful and just in general. I just want to kind of avoid them and stick with my double B tier at the top here. As much as I like Lando Norris and he is a magnet for driver of the day, I just think that I'm just happy with Piastri. Like, he's just sat there under 25 million. He's only going to be under 25 million for another 2-3 races potentially if he keeps, if he goes on another million. And then another couple of races of 0.3, then suddenly he's 25 million. He's an A tier. He's less attractive, but we want to continue to grow our budget where we can. And I'm happy with this balance. It's a great balance. It's good for building budget. It's potentially great for scoring points, providing there's no disqualification. So what else is there to say other than I think if you don't already have a team like this, I'd be going for it. Like I say, Red Bull's kind of off the menu for me. The Ferrari's way off the pace. Past that, there's no one really getting close up there. So I think the value's sat here in these B tier assets. McLaren as my only A tier asset, just to chalk up as many points as I can, doubling up on Piastri and Norris. And that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm sorry, this is, like I said, it's going to be a short video because that's just where I'm at. I'm a strong believer in this team. And maybe I don't need to speak for 20-25 minutes. Maybe that's all you need to hear me to say is I'm a strong believer in this team. If you've got this team or something very similar to it, I think it's a great team. If you don't have this team, you don't have to go for it. But if it was me and I was with an alternate build, I would be looking for a team like this. So it's kind of where I'm at. Thanks very much. And I'll try and stay a bit active over on Twitter into the build up into qualifying. So see you on Saturday. Bye for now.